Imrahil, I'm back, and they're retreating at the gates.
What can you tell me of the situation in Talath Anor?
You have already returned? I did not expect to see you so soon after your departure, Pineleaf. What can you tell me of the situation at Talathanor? Ah, orcs, wargs, Shundar Easterlings? That's bad. A second force? There must be a pincer attack. Our enemy has been planning this for some time, and soon each host will close in on the city. It will make the triumph of Gondor all the sweeter when those plans are destroyed. Well, is there any armor that you need? Let's see.
Minas Tirith will soon be encircled by our enemies. Time is short.
Yes, time is getting short, but we must fill the hours or minutes that remain to us with preparations that will help us survive the approaching onslaught. While you were surveying the situation at Talathanor, I learned of a handful of folk who desire your assistance with matters both large and small. Go to them and see what they need, if you can. Mithrandir wished to speak with you on a greater length about your encounter with the enemy commander in Osgiliath. Find him in the citadel atop of the city. Arador, our chief scribe of the council, was impressed with your work on his behalf and asked for you to speak with him in the Dome of the Sun in the Sixth Circle. The council is waiting for Ingol to return to the city. Perhaps your experience beyond the Ramazekor will be of interest to them. In other council matters, the captain of the garrison has been trying to improve the morale of folk remaining in the city. Find Ekden and see what he can do to help. Whew. More tasks, more work. More things to worry about. And now, let's head out to the Citadel. See what the council has for me now. Ah, here it is. Good thing they didn't change the passwords. I need you at the Dome of the Sun, but we changed the password so you can't get in. Oh boy, that would be inconvenient. Hello there, sir. Anything else you need?
The council has a plan to assess the city's food stocks.
I am glad you've come back, Pineleaf. The council has just heard Ingol's report from the situation in Talath Anor. The captain of the Outwall painted a picture, and it was not a rosy one. Merethian and Mirador have been working on a plan to assess the food stocks of our supplies within the city, and they could use your assistance. They are right over there, and will be glad for your help. All right? Hello there. Anything you want to know?
The deadliest enemy during a long siege? Hunger.
The burden of governance is heavy, but it is especially so in time of war. We have not seen Stuart Denethor since Prince Imrahil carried his son back into the city, but we do not need to hear his words to know what awaits us. A siege, possibly a long one. The greatest enemy during a long siege is not necessarily the foes outside the gates, Pineleaf. The greatest enemy is hunger. With the gates shut, we will not be able to resupply the city. The farms and fields that feed Minas Tirith during the peacetime will be cut off from us by the lines of the enemy. They might as well be on the moon for as all the good it will do us. The only food we will get is the food already here. Mirandol can continue more, but it is a wondrous fact that we might simply not have enough. Oh, worrisome, yes, it is certainly worrisome.
These inventories will help us ration food during the siege.
I have taken stock of the flow of goods into the city over the past few days, and combined it with the existing lists of food and supplies we are storing. This has given me an inventory of our goods, Pineleaf, and I have divided it into sections for each of the main storage rooms of Minas Tirith. I ask that you take these inventories, one to the goods to the upper stores, and one for the goods to the lower stores. Speak with the guards outside each and show them my mark, and they will allow you inside. Compare the inventory with the actual goods and ensure that we have all the supplies we expect. Only then will we be able to properly ration the supplies if the siege proves to be long. Yes. Oh, yes. Certainly not the most exciting task, but definitely a necessary one. And hobbits aren't exactly ones who are liking long sieges and times without meals. Let's see. Now, we need to go to the upper store in the northeast section of the 5th circle. Let's go that way. And find the best way to... I hope I'm going the right way. This place is so easy to get lost in. Actually, before we do that, let's find out what the Mithrandir wants. We don't want to see them checking out stores, and all this time we all die because Mithrandir came and didn't get the help he needed. So let's find out what Mithrandir wants. Hello? Okay, good. I wasn't tossed out. Hello, Mithrandir. You needed something?
I must hear what you saw in Osgiliath, and I must hear it quickly.
Yes, there you are. I suppose you have been north of the Ramas Ekor on Imrahil's errand? I told you to assist the Prince of Dol Amroth, but soon afterwards I regretted doing so. There were some matters I should have asked you about in greater detail, but I gave away my chance by sending you away. It is all set right now. You have returned, and I will worry at it no longer. I must hear what you saw in Osgiliath, and I must hear it quickly. No, not here. Speak with me, if you are ready, and we will depart together for the old archives. There you will find the first and oldest collection of scrolls in the city. I think your tale may require further study, and that is where we may conduct it. All right.
Let us go to the old archives and speak on the way.
Very well.
Your encounter with Gothmog fills me with a dread I cannot explain. I hope to learn why here in the old archives.
All right. Oh, there you are, Mithrandir. Oh, welcome to the old archives, Pineleaf. They were carved into the pier rock of the center of the sages' neath when the city was still called the Tower of the Sun. This was the original library and storehouse of the city, and it remains a trove for ancient knowledge and secrets. There is much to discover in the scrolls and books that are here kept, but few in these days give much thought to these dusty shelves. There is no semblance of order to be found. It was in these dark chambers that I found the scroll of Isildur, and learned much that I needed to know. All right? I am worried about the commander you met in Osgiliath. Oh, yeah. Him. Gothmog, the Dread Terror. Also known as Morthrenbor, right? Or actually, he claims to be Mordred, reclaimed from the void. Yeah, that's what he claimed, all right. You're saying he's not, but neither of these is his true name. Oh, wonderful. Who is he really? His true name was Eärnur, and he was the last king of Gondor. What? Eärnur was mighty, and he did not lack for courage, but he possessed none of the caution that could have saved him from his doom. He had great victory at Fornost when he defeated the Witch King of Angmar, but that victory stirred the pride of his great heights. The Witch King fled, Prince Erher believed that he had nearly rid Middle-earth of the terrible foe, and cursed his failure to the end there. Years later, the Witch King issued a challenge to Eärnur, now the king of Gondor, and summoned him to Minas Morgul. Eärnur went to the Dark City and faced his hated foe, and was lost. We know now that his will was mastered, and he became the loyal servant of his former enemy. He took a new name, Mordorith, and was given the rule of Angmar, while the Witch King managed the interests of Mordor elsewhere in Middle-earth. Through his own efforts, and those of the Rangers and the champions of Angmar, he was defeated. But it seems that victory was not to last. He maintained some bond of his former life, and it allowed his dark master to draw him back before he was lost for good. Oh, fun. Search this chamber for mention of Eärnur, and I will search the other. Alright, let's see. Eärnur. Wonder what this is all about. Well, nothing interesting there about Eärnur. How about this? No, nothing useful there. What about these codices? Nothing useful. Anything here? Nothing useful. Anything here? Lost lore of Eärnur, right? Nope. Nope. That's not what's in there. Surely there must be something else, right? Well, can I try another book? Nope. Oh, here's something here. I haven't thought about these. Oh, find a yellowed scroll that bears Eärnur's name and many times throughout. Oh, is this perhaps relevant? You had better fortune than I did, Pineleaf, for I have yet to find anything. Let me see the scroll. There are matters of interest in this scroll. It speaks of not one challenge, but two, a detail of which I was not aware. It appears that the Witch King challenged Eärnur to ride forth, and the king was dissuaded from that foolishness by his steward, a wise man named Mardil. His name I do know, for he would become the first of the ruling stewards when Eärnur disappeared into Minas Morgul. It is from his line that Denethor draws his authority. Alright. Eärnur did not ride to Minas Morgul alone. Oh. He was accompanied by a retinue of knights, and they disappeared with him. Some of these men may have been before transferred into Kargul. This scroll bears their names, Orlog and Cothalur and Simner. I cannot match these names with their fates. These names are not familiar to me, but I do have a dim recollection that a man named Orlog may have committed some heroic deed at the Battle of Fornost. It is the barest hint of a memory, but I have not even that for these others. Mekhinis is a common name among the women of Gondor. None of the histories I have seen include any women in the retinue of Eärnur's knights, but this scroll appears genuine to me, and I have no reason to doubt it. Some of Eärnur's knights have returned to trouble Middle-earth as Kargul, but the power he wielded in Mordorith seems more deadly than theirs. We should expect he will be more powerful still in his guise as Gothmog. And yet, somewhere behind these masks, does any of Eärnur remain? He was bold, but foolish. Can it be that Gothmog will be the same? Interesting. Search this chamber for more mention of Eärnur, and I will search the other. Oh, more. Alright. Let's see if there's anything here. No, nothing of interest there. Nothing there. Alright, how about... No, nothing on this side. That seems interesting, so let us try these shelves. I found a dusty tome containing records of kings and stewards. Here's some records of kings and stewards. Any useful thing here? Oh, you found something else. Ah, yes. This book contains charts describing the passage of succession through the line of kings, and then through the line of ruling stewards. Do you see? Here is Mardil, the first of the stewards, who ruled over Gondor after Eärnur was taken into the darkness of Minas Morgul. Mardil swore an oath to rule only until the king returned, and each ruling steward has made the same vow. Yes. Perhaps at one time the stewards believed the line of kings would return, but that possibility must now be quite unlikely. We should not speak of it even here, but there is one on his way to Minas Tirith who will remind Denethor of this vow. The king may very well return to Gondor, and the rule of the stewards will no longer be necessary. Until the king returns. Oh dear. Oh dear. Pineleaf, you are not to speak a word of this to anyone. But I fear that we may have overlooked a crucial detail. Our mutual friend approaches the city in the company of his Dunedain kin. If Gondor survives the war to come, he will claim the kingship. He will trace his line back through the years to Isildur. But what if someone else seeks to claim that right? What if Eärnur claims the kingship? He is descended from Anarion, brother of Isildur, in unbroken succession. And if he can prove he is Eärnur, his claim to the throne is stronger than Aragorn's. We must prevent it, Pineleaf. We must prevent the return of this king. Thank you everyone for watching this episode of Pineleaf in Gondor, where we explore this ancient kingdom of Middle-earth. And this is Pineleaf News reminding you to quest responsibly.